More DC Elseworlds movies like Joker will happen if strong pitches are delivered. Joker was not a fluke, and more solo movies will be coming out of if the idea is deemed worthy by DC Films and Warner Brothers. This is a cool article from MovieWeb. I'm going to get into this article. Before I do, definitely subscribe to the channel because it's a huge help to me and it helps my work. And click the bell for notifications. Now, moving on with the article. Todd Phillips' 2019 offering, Joker, is seen as something of an anomaly in the world of comic book movies. Why? Well, did you see Joker? Joker was not a typical comic book movie. It was based on a villain. It was not like a lot of incredible action scenes, as the article goes on. And again, this is coming from MovieWeb. With a hard R rating, a small budget, and no big action scenes in sight, Joker proved superhero movies can be successful outside of action adventure. According to a Twitter post by Discussing Film, Walter Hamada, head of DC Films division at Warner Brothers, is planning to make more movies with the same vein as the concept of Joker if it sounds promising enough. Now, who is Walter Hamada? Walter Hamada is an American film executive and producer. He joined New Line Cinema in 2007, where he served as an executive producer on horror films such as The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Conjuring 2, Lights Out, and It. So he's used to working on kind of small budget, high concept films. Perfect. In January 2018, he was appointed to president of DC Films at Warner Brothers Pictures. So they really want to see him make more of these niche-oriented, low-budget, high-concept films. What's high concept? Joker is high concept. Big idea, small budget, you get kind of drawn in by the idea, and a character study. Interesting. He also worked on, this is just kind of cool, he worked on, oh wow, I didn't know he did this. Let's look at this real quick. How DC Films rebounded after Justice League flopped. So he worked on that. He worked on Aquaman. He worked on Wonder Woman. He helped create a hit over there. So no wonder they love this Walter Hamada. He can do whatever he wants. He's a big shot. All right, Walter Hamada confirms there will be more DC Elseworlds movies such as Joker if filmmakers deliver strong pitches. Cool. Legend has it that, and this is true, Warner Brothers was extremely pessimistic about Joker's chances when the film was being made. It makes you wonder, like, well, you guys are in charge over there. If you're pessimistic about a movie, why is it being made? It's because once things get greenlit and they get in motion, and sometimes it's different management, whatever it is, they're kind of committed to make it. So what they did was they sold off half of the cost and half of the benefit of Joker to outside investors. So when Joker made over $1 billion at the box office and was like the most profitable comic book movie of all time, more profitable than Avengers. Not that it did more money than Avengers, but when they reduced all the costs, there was more free money left over, more cash profit left over than the Avengers. When it did that, they were like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Like, you just can't know. You can't make all the right decisions in this kind of business, and in life, you just do the best you can. But now, they are definitely looking to do more movies like that. And as it says here, after it won multiple Academy Awards and other prestigious awards, the studio's been scrambling to look at what other comic book properties could be developed. And you know this guy, Walter Hamada, is all over it. To that end, a standalone origin movie about Lex Luthor was rumored to be in development, which was supposed to belong to the same villain cinematic universe as Joker. A cool idea. While no new information has been offered on that front, the announcement of the DCEU Multiverse during the DC Fandome has opened the doors for such a franchise to grow within the larger DCEU. Basically, the DCEU universe refers to a concept from the comics where multiple universes all exist in the same space, but at different frequencies. You see, they're all in the same space. It's like a radio, different frequencies. Under special circumstances, characters from one universe can jump into another universe's reality, like the time Flash from DC Films showed up for a cameo in an episode of the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline. So just like this can happen in our lives, you just have to change the dial a little bit. Boom, the frequency hits, and now you got a crossover. I don't know how you keep continuity that way. They have different universes with, By and large, different universes in the multiverse exist in their own separate reality. What this means for the DCEU going forward is that movies like Joker, Matt Reeves' The Batman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League will all belong to separate realities with no need for crossovers. But each of those realities will exist with the same multiverse. You see, they're going to be within the same multiverse and can cross over when and if the filmmakers decide to do so. As if continuity and storytelling was just that easy. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. That to me looks a little bit like they're making it a little too easy on themselves. Because if anything can happen and anything goes, then it's like, well, then what's real and what's not real? And if I'm watching a story and it's not really real because maybe it's just a different multiverse then, or, you know, reality, then is it meaningful? Does it resonate the same way as story? Thus, there is no longer any need for one consistent continuity for the DCEU, and pesky questions like why are both Joaquin Phoenix and Jared Leto playing the Joker can be explained away by stating they both belong to different universes within the multiverse. Obviously, for fans, this will allow for DC films with wildly different tones and storylines that no longer have to adhere to a shared storyline. So no one has to keep track of anything. It's just anything goes. Interestingly, the MCU is also moving in the same direction, with the upcoming Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness opening up the Marvel Cinematic Universe to the possibilities of shared universes. Unless you're really serious about continuity when you're creating storylines, if you're hardcore serious about it, you're talking about it all the time, and you're promoting it as a selling point, you're going to have this kind of mishmash craziness of universes all over the place and things that don't make sense, but it's either fun or it's not fun, and that's it. So you just watch it, you have fun, but the stories don't mean anything. It now remains to be seen whether Joker was a flash in the pan or whether Warner Brothers will be able to make more comic book films of the same nature that draw praise for their acting and thematic storylines rather than CGI or action stunts. Obviously, it depends on the actor, the director, the material, but with the right mix, they can make great movies. What's the difference if it's a comic book movie or not? This is interesting. Also in MovieWeb, this is going back a little ways. Justice League art unites Michael Keaton's Batman and Christopher Reeve's Superman. This is from Alex Ross. This is beautiful art. Alex Ross is great. He's a fantastic artist. He really is. Now, the Flash movie confirmed to introduce DC's multiverse on the big screen. So the Flash movie is going to show how the DC multiverse kind of works. It's going to be the first exposure to multiple universes on the big screen. This just came out. It's official. Warner Brothers is going full-on multiverse with DC. It was recently revealed that both Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton will be appearing as different versions of Batman in the Flash movie, a project that has been gestating for some time. Now, director Andy Muschietti has explained that the movie will be bringing in the concept of the multiverse to the big screen, which includes every cinematic iteration we've seen to date. This is a little bit hard to follow. The multiverse? As part of the report confirming Ben Affleck's unexpected return as Bruce Wayne, which will mark his first time playing the role since Justice League. Maybe he'll also be Daredevil while he's at it. Andy Muschietti discussed the idea of the DC multiverse, while Michael Keaton's inclusion, at least they're inclusive, certainly signaled that that was the plan for The Flash. Muschietti is not being coy about the fact that the multiverse is going to be a big part of his next project. Here's what he had to say about it. The movie is a bit of a hinge in the sense that it presents a story that implies a unified universe where all the cinematic iterations that we've seen before are valid. It's inclusive in the sense that it is saying that all you've seen exists and everything that you will see exists in the same unified multiverse. I mean, that is a big concept. It's not a small concept. That's a big concept. So if you're going to introduce a concept this big and then other human or human-like characters, the fact that this multiverse exists and everything that goes on, like it goes on everywhere, and there's continuity within separate universes that sometimes might cross over, that is so strange that has to be the whole story. There's really no room for story beyond that. That's the problem when you have these complicated concepts, like for an audience to relate to it, whether it's comic books or movies or whatever. it's such a big concept, even though people are familiar with it. The concept really steals the show. I mean, what else is going to be there? Like, Batman's going to talk about how he, misses his wife in this reality or that universe. Like, all the stories that are human stories become much smaller and not as relevant when you do a story that's this big about multiverses that always exist and interrelate with each other. It becomes like this weird spiritual story. Tell me what you think about that in the comments below. I will get you links to these articles so you can look them up more and kind of check into this more. If you want to, definitely check out MovieWeb. You can also support my work at collegeofthedead.com. Pick up a copy of College of the Dead Graduation Day, my ongoing zombie apocalypse series. And you can sign up at epicmermaids.com to get The Mermaids. It's coming soon. It will be full color, 48 pages. It's like Game of Thrones with mermaids. You will be shocked at how much you love it. I will see you again soon with another video, and if I don't see you, I will miss you.